Hey, what's up, and welcome to another episode of the Tidalwave Afterwork Podcast. My name is Marc Maurer. As always, this is Damiani.
Hello.
We are here at Tidalwave Studio, and we like to answer questions from you.
Give me a question, please.
Yes, okay.
What do we have?
We have a question from Breakbeat808.
Hi, Breaky.
That's a cool name. In your experience as musicians and audio engineers, what's the best way to find new clients or get work these days? Is social media the key, or do you rely more on networking and word of mouth?
The clear answer is yes. Both. Everything. Every way, everywhere, all the time.
Is it everything for you?
Yeah, what?
Like if you would say, what's like the percentage of new
I'm doing
gigs?
this for such a long time now that I have a big amount of returning artists. So it's like there are people I've been working with for almost 25 years. So I will tend to see this whole thing like with starting any other business, it's like a spiral. Of course, if you deliver good quality work, then you have to start somewhere. Maybe you record your own band and then somebody hears it and then the spiral starts working. So this is one thing. Word to mouth is one big part. But now it's now it's 2024 and we have social media. So connect with tons of people. Connect with them, show interest, engage into conversation and be interested and find out if artists need somebody to work with and find out if you are the right person to help them out, bringing their music to life. And if you have the feeling that your work could be of benefit to those artists, start talking to them, ask them what they want to achieve and if they are interested in working with a professional like you will be at that moment and if they need your work and if you have common ground to work together.
Yeah.
Just talk to people. How do you approach clients? Do they approach you?
I would say for me it's clearly 70-80% word of mouth, I would say. I mean, you can't really force that, but it's always easier if somebody else that you trust tells you, hey, this guy is great. That's always the easier entrance because there's a bigger level of trust. But also what I would say is like I try to connect with people, but I think the important part, you already said it, is like show interest in what people do.
Yeah.
Don't be like, hey, book me.
Yeah, don't have that needy attitude.
Exactly,
like, I need a job. Don't show desperation, even if you are in despair for a new job.
Yeah.
You are an expert that somebody wants to hire. You have to attract people to want to work with you because what you have to offer is great. Be self-confident. Turn it around so that you have them interested in what you have to offer and they come to you and want to see if you want to work with them. This is the way you should try and turn things. Yeah.
Very important.
Okay.
Cool.
Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Okie dokie. Nikolaus M. What do you think of these one-knob plugins? Do you believe one can achieve a very good result without studying the fundamentals of sound engineering as it was used back in the days?
There are these plugins and I like them, but I think it's important that you know what they are doing so that you are not like randomly using them. I mean, it depends. There's these one-knob plugins that kind of sell you like better. You know, just like in general, better.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but first of all, it's unrealistic because how does the plugin know what my source track needs or what I need or what the artist wants? Yeah. So what? I mean, in a way, I also don't know what happens inside of any plugin. Really, I can't
Can't you program plugins on this?
No, for some reason not. I'm stupid, I guess.
Me neither.
No, but see, of course, I don't know that, but I still know what the plugin is doing. If a plugin doesn't say on the surface what it's doing, you don't want to use it as like this sorcery power tool that is just like, whatever, my overhead track, I mix it, but it still sucks. Let's put this better knob on it. And then the problem might be, just to give an example why it could be bad if you don't know what it's doing. Let's say, whatever, you saturated your overhead tracks maybe a little bit and you compress it a little bit, whatever, and it's not working. And now you put something on it and you don't know what it's doing. And maybe the solution would have been that you have saturated it too much already. And now you put something on it where
maybe the better knob removes saturation.
If it does, then great, but you would have to know that. That's the point.
Yeah, that's really the thing. Those mystery boxes, maybe on an individual track if it works somehow, but to rely on this is difficult, because if the artist comes back and says, yeah, that's great, but maybe a little bit less of whatever, and you only have this one knob that does 10 different things at once, how do you...
You cannot separate it.
You reduce just one aspect of it. It's like, do you know what this reminds me of? It's like, I have a cold and I only need like a fever reducing medicine, but in the pharmacy they sell you like this 6-in-1 thing.
Yeah.
But I don't need to cough, and I don't need this, and I don't need that. I just need one. But you only get medicine for a whole bunch of...
There's like pain killing at the same time.
Everything at once. And those plugins tend to be this.
Yeah.
And maybe you only need one of the aspects.
The point is, you should know kind of what the plugin is doing, and then you can use it on purpose. But it's a bad thing if you don't know what it's doing. You just turn it and be like, that's probably better. Then you're not listening, and that's the problem, I would say. Maybe you should learn basic tools first. So if you then have like one of these knobs that does 3 of these things at once,
you can identify them.
At least you can identify. You turn and be like, oh, it feels like a slow compressor, a little bit of saturation, and I think it bumps the mid range up at 400.
And then you can decide,
like, okay, do I want this or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe don't start with the one knob things if you are serious about learning the craft.
Yes.
If you just want to get a quick result, try it out. But if you are serious about getting control over what you're doing, learn the simple and essential tools first.
That's very well put. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Thanks. This question is from Marc Heiler.
Marc
wants to know, do you ever have to adjust your mixing workflow, or do you use the same process for every project regardless of the style?
Maybe let's find some similarities that could be useful as a general workflow. I for example, like to work into master bus processing. The more heavy the music, the more stuff I have on it. For more relaxed music, like very natural or something jazzy or I tend to use much less on the mix bus. Not always, but sometimes. But I start from there as like the top-down method. So apply something on the general thing, and then go down. Maybe this is the thing that is the same workflow-wise. Except from this, pull up the faders is maybe a good starting point.
Yeah.
And listen to everything at once and try to find a basic balance. This is something that is generally applied.
Yeah, it's always different material and source tracks, and even if you have electric guitar in 10 different songs, it's still different electric guitar, so your approach will always be a little bit different.
A little bit different, but it's worth to try and memorize techniques that have worked well more often than not.
Yeah.
We'll get a feel for, is that a case of I do this again, or I try this again as a starting point. Yeah. So there is a lot of similarities over different projects, but there is also a ton of difference, and you need to use your ears and try to find out what are the similarities and what is where you should start from scratch and just find out what you have to do.
Use your ears.
Use your ears. Yeah. That's really helpful. Use your ears.
Always.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, if you like this channel, consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Leave us a comment and tell a friend about it. Thanks.
I want to know, do you have a cool studio hack that you would like to share? Something that you found out is a really cool, neat little trick, or something that maybe only you use and you would like to share? Take your time. We can edit out the thinking time.
Probably nothing that nobody else has done before.
Nobody, but
I would say for me, it's not like a hack or anything, but talking about perspective, maybe. I have like some earbuds. I think they're Samsung earbuds, like cheapo earbuds. But I had them for, I don't know, 15 years. And whenever I see them, I buy them.
Okay.
Again.
I wanted to ask, what do you do if they're broken? Then you're up.
I bought them again and again because those are like my reality check. It doesn't matter how they sound; they probably sound terrible.
It has to sound good on any device. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just like it's in my DNA. That the thing is, though, those are the earbuds that I probably have listened to the most music in general over in my life, because there were so many times where I would go by foot or train or bike or whatever. And when I was younger, I always listened with these earbuds. So for me, I mean, I don't do it that much anymore, but sometimes when I feel like a little bit, I'm not sure about something, I want to maybe, sleep a night over a mix. Like, it's a better reality check for me to just take these and have a walk and listen with like car noises from outside. If it then feels like it, right, if I can crank it on these and it doesn't hurt, and it's like, then then it's good. So maybe the hack is, I think it's okay to have something to listen to that maybe is not like a gold standard, but for you it's just so familiar and so in your DNA that it's fine to sometimes check on these. And also that goes along with not looking at the screen. And I tried this, just a little like sidetrack, but some people say like, shut off your screen because then you listen more in a different way. It doesn't work for me. For some reason my brain can't. It's like I still see the screen and I still but as soon as I walk outside and use these earbuds,
there is no screen outside.
Yeah, but also it's like the things that are wrong in the mix, they jump at me.
Yes.
They jump
because
at me.
You are listening like a music consumer and not like the guy with a million options at hand.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit generic answer, but really still powerful. And maybe there are still people who don't consider, doing those kind of things.
I asked the question because I had like a little thing that I wanted to share that gave me good service, and I wanted to know if you have something that comes to your mind. I'm using a gaming mouse as my mouse, and with where you can program different keys on the mouse.
Yeah.
So for example, my right click is not like the secondary click, but it's paste. Because I take pride in being a really fast editor. And part of this is, of course, I know all the shortcuts. I have used them 10 million times. And I reprogrammed my mouse so that the middle click is Command X, so like cut out, and which means like delete and copy at the same time, and right click is paste. So copy paste like tick.
Yeah.
I know that it's also like tick tick on the keyboard, but it's just so much faster. And this is really, really, really cool. Like programming little macros. Last week I had like a thing where I wanted to replace, what was it, side stick hits with a sample out of that session, and instead of using like the arrows, like go to the right to the next transient, go down and paste, go up, go to the right, go down and paste. I just programmed up, right, down, paste with one click. And so it was like tick, 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 and it just was so quick. It took me like 3 seconds to program this little macro.
Yeah.
And then I could use it for that session. I deleted it afterwards because I gave that click back to something else.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
So gaming mice are a nice option if you want to be really, really fast with editing. Another thing is that they are most of the time they are ergonomically really nice, those gaming mice.
Yeah.
So
it's a good point.
Good one.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. I think do we have more questions? Yes. Question from Steven Anderson.
Hi, Steven.
Hey guys, in an earlier episode you talked about imposter syndrome. I struggle with it quite a bit, so maybe you could go a little bit more in depth with that subject. Any advice for staying confident in your own abilities? Thank you.
Question is, are the people you work for, are they happy with what you give them? If like 99% of your work that you deliver finds happy receivers, then there is no need to worry. And even if the percentage of happy artists is lower, then it's still no need to worry. Then you just need more practice. Practice makes perfect. And we are all still learning every day. So just keep growing and keep building confidence by building skills. It's natural that you have a progression. We don't know how far Steven is in his learning curve, but it just takes time. I can say that maybe I needed many hundreds of mixes on that. If I listen to them now, I think like, and I needed time to find out that I thought, yeah, I really know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes it just hits you where you think like, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
It just takes time. Take the time.
Yeah. Also, I would say, always remember that it's subjective still. And like Patrick said, if you have clients, or even if you're just on a more like hobby level and you work maybe with like local bands or whatever, if there's somebody else who likes what you do, then that's actually all the proof you need, because there's somebody else outside of your brain who thinks what you do is awesome. And I think it's important to, in a healthy way, obviously, but yeah, taking some pride in what you do, especially if something that you do is a little bit unorthodox, or you don't know, because I had this a lot of times when I started out, when you are discovering things for you, or techniques, or and you're like, does anybody else do it like I do? And then you get uncertain. But if then somebody else likes what you do, you can just have a little bit of pride and be like, I don't care if somebody else does it like I do. Maybe I found it out myself. Even if anybody else is also using it. And he said he likes it, and she said she likes it. So it must be fine. And if you get negative feedback, I think we covered this also in a previous episode. If you get negative feedback and this pulls you down, try to see it in a sporty way. Take it as a challenge. Nothing can go wrong. It's just a mix. It's there are not lives depending on it. So just relax. Just listen to the feedback and try to incorporate that feedback in the work, and do it until the artist is happy. And when he is happy, all is good. And nobody cares if it took 3 steps or if it took 8 steps to get there. Yeah. Just get there, and when you are there and everyone is happy, then there is no need to worry. Yeah. Keep at it. Keep at it. Yeah. Take your time, practice, and it will come eventually. Yeah. Good luck. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, Tom King wants to know, what do polarity and phase alignment mean? Okay. How do you explain it in a simple way? Okay, let's say if you have a DAW and you look at the waveform, which are these blobs, these audio sausages. If you zoom in, you will see like a line, and maybe the easiest way to put it in like not too technical is, let's say you have recorded 2 microphones. For example, a snare top and bottom mic. You zoom into these tracks and you see these lines. If they go in the opposite direction at a point in time, that's normally not good. Because it's like the thing is that one signal wants to push the speaker towards you, and the other one at the same time wants to pull it away from you, and they cancel out each other. It's like sabotage in the waveform. Yeah. So you need to try to get signals that are supposed to move in the same direction, let them move in the same direction at the same time. Yeah. So, and to answer the question, what the alignment means is basically that you put tracks that are not in phase, you put them in phase by aligning them. So you could have, maybe an easy example would be you record something with 2 microphones and they are at a different distance. So the sound will arrive at one microphone first and later at the other one. So the tracks will be not aligned. And what you do is you align them. And there's different ways of doing this, but to keep it simple, because that's the question, that's what that means. You align the tracks to be in phase.
Yeah, and if they are aligned, it sounds like one thing, and if they are misaligned, then you get cancellations in some areas of the sound, and it will just not sound right.
Yeah.
Hope that helps. That was it.
Yeah, cool.
See you next week for another episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.